fanfare and a loud cheer from the crowd.
Yes, there's still some athletes filing in here as we speak.
The long shot that you can see, the
Canadian forces, the Canada Jet. Welcome to the Commonwealth Games closing ceremony. Bienvenue à la cérémonie de clôture des 15e Jeux du Commonwealth. And now entering the stadium, please welcome the chairman of the Commonwealth Games Federation, le directeur de la Fédération des Jeux du Commonwealth, Mr. Arnaldo de Osales, Chief Emeka Anyuku, Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Secrétaire Général du Commonwealth, and the President of the Commonwealth Games Federation, le Président de la Fédération des Jeux du Commonwealth, His Royal Highness, the Prince Edward, Son Altesse Royale, le Prince Edward.
Prince Edward has thoroughly enjoyed himself, I assure you.
Mesdames et messieurs, our masked pipe band, notre fanfare de cornemuse, featuring members of 10 Vancouver Island pipe bands with special guests from London, England, the 1st Battalion Irish Guards.
The Prince has been seen at just about every venue.
He's had a wonderful time at these games.
Here we go. Always sounds marvellous. Masked pipes and drums. Former student of the Scots College in Sydney, this never fails to stir the heart, I'm here to tell you. I used to march behind one of the best pipe bands in the world, and that was the Scots College Pipes and Drums.
There's nothing like the sound of this, is there?
Fantastic.
Canadian-Scottish regiment was formed in 1920, in fact, Tim. They are a reserve unit of the Canadian Armed Forces, as it happens. And they are also allied with the Royal Scots, or the Royal Regiment, which is the oldest infantry regiment in the British Army.
Indeed. They're playing Meeting of the Waters, Brentwood Bay, Cock of the North, Piper of Drummond, Paddy's Leather Breeches, and the Queen Victoria Jubilee.
With the tradition of Victoria, actually, which has a history of an architecture by Francis Rattenbury, who was a Scottish born, responsible for some of the grand architecture around the inner harbour.
Absolutely, a lot of Scottish influence here. There's a beautiful shop in the heart of the city selling tartan, genuine Scottish tartan. And of course the drum major is wearing the ceremonial clothing because of the presence of His Royal Highness, the Prince Edward. The Irish Guards, of course, most of you back home will know, guard Buckingham Palace.
They're actually actually over on a training, well, in training in Canada at the moment, the Irish Guards. They must travel around, and they've come to British Columbia for this very ceremony from Alberta.
Well, that's not a bad little life at all.
And they're dressed rather appropriately today, given that it's so cool. Might be a bit like the Highlands.
Yes, quite cool today. Stark contrast to opening ceremony day, which was a beautiful sunny day, but the rain is holding off for the time being, and in fact, the sky is clearing, which is only fitting for what's been a marvellous Commonwealth Games in this most beautiful city in British Columbia.
That stage that they're marching on in the middle is continuing the theme of the dove that you might have seen in the opening ceremony. There are dove insignias around a map of the world, and the hands, and I suppose that would be the hands of all the nations joining together for a Commonwealth Games.
And the doves of peace, quite right.
Stirring march to stirring music. Appreciated by the crowd here.
Yes, they love it.
We've got a full house at the stadium.
Just a marvellous sight, of course. In ancient times, this sound and these drums used to frighten the life out of the enemy.
And the stitches of the Commonwealth Cape of Many Hands. The Cape of Many Hands features a hand imprint from athletes of all Commonwealth nations. Half of the cape will be presented to Malaysia. The second half will remain in Victoria as a permanent legacy of the friendly games. Mesdames et messieurs, voici les artisans qui ont confectionné la cape de l'amitié. Cette cape comporte l'empreinte de la main d'athlètes des nations du Commonwealth. Une moitié de la cape sera présentée à la Malaisie, l'autre moitié restera à Victoria en souvenir de ces Jeux amicables. En l'honneur de ceux et celles qui ont contribué au succès de ces Jeux, nous vous présentons les Mains du Cœur. It has taken many dedicated individuals to fashion an event on the scale of the 15th Commonwealth Games. As a tribute to all who have lent a helping hand to the success of these games, we present Hands of the Heart.
Well, it's almost as if God was smiling down on Victoria, because as the Hands of the Heart entered the stadium, the sun came out and shone upon them. 360 square dancers from right across Vancouver Island, 100 volunteer stitchers and needle workers carrying the Commonwealth Cape of Many Hands.
As it has been throughout the whole Commonwealth Games, Tim, everybody from around the island, the whole community of Victoria and surrounds have taken part. They've volunteered their time.
And done it so happily and so wonderfully well.
So it's their turn to have a little bit of fun here.
Your square dance callers are Dennis Kirkpatrick from Victoria right here, and Brenda Jula, who comes from Port McNeill.
up and do a little square dance in your lounge room.
Yes, why not?
While the TV's running here.
Absolutely. Get into the spirit of the thing.
Join hands.
You pass through, pass off, 3/4 round, and a right and left through turn that girl. You spar through, pass through Alum and left, come back and promenade.
Side space, grand square.
We're here square dancing at Centennial Stadium here in Victoria.
And why not?
To music composed by an Australian, in fact, Greg Bowman, who has been here for, I believe, most of the year, helping musically direct the ceremonies in Victoria.
Come on back, square through, go forehands.
The remaining athletes looking absolutely fantastic and probably feeling pretty good about themselves. Looking on, I see plenty of green and gold Aussies uniforms up there. The Canadians and the English looking marvellous too. And just soaking this all up, which is the object of the exercise.
And then you start through, double pass through, first go left.
There's a selection of the Australian team, looking very different to how they looked on opening day, that's for sure. The work is done, they can now relax.
I imagine they're a little weary, but pretty happy, I would think.
They have 87 reasons and more to be proud of themselves.
They certainly do.
And isn't it good to see that the games are for young people, but they're for everybody? Square dancing here.
Yes, my word. All volunteers, you know, these people. And not just the people you're seeing here today. The whole city of Victoria is chock-a-block full of volunteers. And they've worked so hard. And they should be very, very proud of themselves indeed. Made us all feel welcome and made sure everything's run as smoothly as it possibly could. Fantastic.
Here, here.
Well done.
With every closing ceremony, everybody gets into the spirit of the thing. The crowd is clapping in unison.
Yeah, especially the volunteers down there. If they get a shot of them that we can see to our right, they are having just a fabulous time.
The Commonwealth Games features a unique blend of sport and culture. During the last 10 days, artists from 15 nations have entertained hundreds of thousands of cheering fans. It is with great pleasure that we present them to you today. Durant ces Jeux où sommeillent sport et culture, des artistes de 15 nations différentes ont diverti des centaines de milliers de spectateurs. C'est avec un grand plaisir que nous vous les présentons aujourd'hui. Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, accueillons maintenant notre premier groupe international de l'Afrique du Sud, the first of our Commonwealth feature groups from South Africa, Bop Dance Company.
A series now of international features.
And South Africa very proudly back into the Commonwealth Games for the first time since
That's the way, if you're hearing. From South Africa, the Bop Dance Company. not mistaken, those guys are dressed in the ceremonial garb of the Zulu warrior.
Of them with their drummer.
Let me tell you, that guy could get a gig with any rock band. He's a hell of a bongo player.
He is very good.
Sign him up to play with Phil Collins. He is terrific.
Sure Phil would be very happy with that.
No, I'm sure he would be.
It's a bit reminiscent of the Graceland album of Paul Simon some time ago, Tim.
Yes, indeed.
The whole feeling of Africa and the drums to the stadium. It fills this whole venue.
Yeah, the sound is just wonderful in here. I hope you're getting it on television too. Beautiful.
Around rich in cultural heritage, we now present the Bangladesh cultural troupe with popular traditional dance and music.
From the Bangladesh Shilpakala Academy.
She had an arts festival here in Victoria during the course of these Commonwealth Games, and the performers here this afternoon have been specially selected to represent the countries of the Commonwealth.
For the Bangladeshis back home, this music composed by Sunil Chandra Das, choreography by Shamim Aranipa. And of course, it's a traditional Bangladeshi folk song.
Bangladesh, they are promoting more of a cultural development, I suppose, in the country. They've now got a Ministry of Cultural Affairs, and they are, its mandate is to encourage and promote development of culture in visual and performing arts, and I guess here is a very profoundly good example of that.
Not a bad audience for it, Fullers. Not a bad audience.
Absolutely.
A few 100 million people around the world to see it. Of course, it's only on these occasions, many years apart, that all the countries and the people and the athletes of the Commonwealth get to spend some time with each other. And the spirit is truly a wonderful thing to behold. From Bangladesh.
From Malta, delights the Daphne Longaro folklore dancers.
Okay, off to Malta we go now.
If you're wondering what these are traditional Gunnell Maltese costumes, characterised, as you can see, by wide-brimmed hats and headdresses, and authentic peasant costumes as well. Shows the diversity of cultures of the Commonwealth, Tim, doesn't it?
Very wide-brimmed hats. This company is quite famous. They've performed right across Europe and down into Africa. And the only all-female company who performs in these traditional Gunnell Maltese costume, with authentic peasant costumes as well. "12 ladies with their 4 musicians, and don't they look just lovely?"
It's a wonderful contrast to the drums of Africa too, isn't it? Casts a shadow across the field now. Who would have thought, Tim, earlier in the day?
Yes, there was a lot of rain here early in the day. As you can see when the shots come around, the track here at Centennial Stadium is quite soaked in parts. But beautiful sunshine at the moment. And deserves to be too.
From Hong Kong, the Hong Kong, students of the Hong Kong Academy for Performing Arts.
Now we move to Hong Kong.
42 dancers and musicians from Hong Kong.
And of course this, Tim, is the last Commonwealth Games
It is
for Hong
indeed.
Kong.
Yes, handed back in '97.
So an emotional time for them, a memorable occasion for them.
Hey, these guys could join the Africans in Phil Collins' band. All very young people, 16 to 22 in age, all students, majoring in the Asian Performing Arts.
And how the sunshine lights their faces up and the colours of their costumes as well. Makes such a difference.
Yes, and our host broadcaster in Canada doing a very good job of showing you all of this colour, movement, music, and beauty.
For those of you who know China, this dance is derived from folk dance of the Ongwei province.
Well done. And we'll take a break here from the Centennial Stadium. Come back here for more of the closing ceremony of the Commonwealth Games. Orchestral group from Mauritius are performing in this series of culturally diverse performances here at the Commonwealth Games closing ceremony. Marvellous splashes of wonderful colour.
Makes you feel like going on a holiday, Tim, which is what Mauritius is renowned for. It's a wonderful holiday island, I'm told.
No, not been there myself, but I hear the same thing. What a bunch of boogiers the Commonwealth are.
It's party time here at the closing ceremony.
Tonga Police Band.
The Royal whole Tonga police band and overseas cultural troupe. And don't they look just great?
Now, if I'm right, this is the national anthem of Tonga.
It is. Places on the earth, Tonga. The Tonga Police Band. Well, the athletes are about to enter the stadium. Let's go over now to Phil Liggett, and the man who came closest to the amount of gold medals we'd win, but he was still way off. Norman May.
Thank you, Tim. Yes, I went for 70. They've made 87 for Australia. An amazing performance. By tradition, the athletes are restricted to 4 only per team in the closing ceremony. There's a standard bearer and a manager and 3 representing Australia. And I can see down there the Australian flag. And the standard bearer, I believe, Phil Liggett, is a great choice.
Well, it is indeed. It's Gary Neiwand, who for the 3rd consecutive games took gold in the men's 1,000-metre sprint on the velodrome, and there he is at Wondafuka. A very proud moment indeed for Gary. He came here quite literally as the underdog. He just lost his double world championship, in fact, the Keirin and the sprint. He really felt he couldn't take gold for a 3rd games. And I spoke to him in the pub last night, and he was a very, very happy man. He repeats the feats, in fact, Norman, of Pan Kilbourne, who did the treble in 62, 66 and 70, the hurdler, and Michael Wendon, the swimmer. And you know more about Michael than I do, Norman, 66, 70 and 74. Gary Neiwand now 86, 90 and 94.
Well, they're off the Australian team at the moment, but we can tell you, marching out there behind Gary Neiwand, Cathy Freeman, that wonderful winner over 200 and 400 metres on the track. Lisa Campbell, Australia's first ever badminton singles winner. And what about Kasumi Takahashi? 5 gold medals in gymnastics, and I gave the Australian team a chance of winning none. That's how good they were. An amazing performance by the Australian team.
Well, when you predicted 70 medals, Norman, everybody said you were an optimist, and now they're saying you were a pessimist with 87.
It wasn't just the 87. I think the important thing is Australia won those medals across a spread of 9 sports.
Yes.
Only 1 sport in which they failed to win a medal, that was wrestling. And as you see the countries coming through now, those hands of peace, the placard bearers, just those 3 athletes. and it'll be a very quick parade, only taking about 10 minutes or so. Already the leaders are up around the southern end of the ground, about to enter the running straight. They will now come straight down, and the flag bearers will stay on the arena for the ceremonial part of the parade, and the remainder will go into the seats just under the scoreboard. But looking at the Australian team, it must have been a very, very difficult job to pick out just 4 out of what? There's a gold medal in every bedroom in the Australian team.
When they get back home, they should be treated as a champion team and a champion nation, and you know, picking out individuals is in many ways a little bit unfair. They're all champions today. They've done so well.
There they are, Marjorie Jackson. Marjorie Jackson Nelson is leading the parade. 7 gold medals herself. To the right, we see Cathy Freeman there, a wonderful thing. Lisa Campbell. Kasumi Takahashi. Wasn't she a great performer? It's incredible to see youngsters come out like that, and there the Australians responding. Marjorie Jackson again, treading the turf, treading the track, where 40 years ago she did so well in Vancouver, winning her last gold medals, retiring at the age of 22. A different story these days when they can go on, and we can see the Australians below us now, and they look very, very happy indeed. Going Neiwand on the inside the track. There's Marge, one of the greatest athletes in Australian history.
And the emotion in her eyes. Well, Tim Webster alongside me. I know that one of the memories of the games for him will be the sight of Lisa Campbell on the high up on the podium with tears streaming down her face when she won her gold medal in the badminton, and that really is a marvellous sport, and it's great for Lisa.
There they are. Kasumi Takahashi, Lisa Campbell on the far side, Cathy Freeman. What a runner, what a performer. And to see Australians back winning gold medals on the track. This is something a little bit different. We've slapped in that for years and years. We've gone down a little bit. Some of our greatest performers, 5 women in fact for Australia, have won the track double. That's 100-metre, 200-metre sprint, 7 times between them down the years. But it took Cathy Freeman to come back and win the 200 and 400-metre double, which is the first time ever.
And it was absolutely superb. The excitement was electric that day. They're going to have a great time tonight when they leave the stadium here at Centennial Park, and Victoria will have never seen anything quite like it down on the harbour front tonight.
Now, can we say that, of course, not all the members of the Australian team are here. Obviously, the swimmers would have been considered, but they've gone on. There's Prince Edward just waving across to the Australians. The swimmers would have been considered. They're over in Rome, and Kieran Perkins, I would assume that Kieran Perkins will be in the parade, but we're still represented by 3 wonderful people. And of course we have a result of a relay race, and a jury is deciding. This is the one where there was a practice, and Cathy Freeman in fact was first across the line, and 5:30.
About 5:30.
So it's very, very close to the time they'll decide that. And all is not lost for Australia, but when you win 87 gold medals, Phil, you don't worry too much about number 88.
We do, but it's your gold medal, Norman. There's a 3-man jury now deciding on that protest, by the way, and they hope to have made the decision by 5:30. But His Royal Highness, the Prince Edward, enjoying the occasion now as the arena in front of him is full of athletes of the Commonwealth Games.
I was looking down there to see the standard bearers, Phil, and I noticed that from the other countries, perhaps the outstanding athlete is Sally Gunnell with the standard wrinkle.
Well, as you know, Norman, I am English, even if I work for Australian television, and I'm delighted for Sally Gunnell. She is the most outstanding athlete of her time. Commonwealth Games champion, world, European, Olympic and the world record holder. She really does have no equal. She will go home, as she came out here, an absolute star. She carries the England banner today. And let me just say, too, the English cyclists rode well today. They were eclipsed by the Australians, but they did enjoy their finest Commonwealth Games since 1986 in Edinburgh.
As you see them now, the athletes are continuing on, and the standard bearers are forming a line. There's England, Sally Gunnell, we spoke about her. They're forming a line right down the running track. Remember, there are 67 possible countries who can compete in these games, and about 65 or 64 did compete, and all of those standard bearers are going to look. We see them right down the running track for the whole 100 metres, and the athletes, 3 of them for each country, if they have 3, are going on to sit in the grandstand underneath the scoreboard. We're down to Uganda, and there's Gary Neiwand. Gary Neiwand of Australia.
A great moment.
The beauty of it, Phil, that He carried an injury into these games, and we thought maybe he couldn't get through, but what a performance last night.
He told me last night he admitted he did not think it was possible to take the gold. He was afraid, first of all, of Darren Hill. When it went to 3 matches, he said, I'm finished, I won't make it. Darren left the door open. Neiwand went to the final. He said, I won't beat Kurt Harnett, not here. He beat Kurt Harnett with his hands in the air, 2 rides to 0. He's the true man to carry the flag for Australia in what has been a unique Commonwealth Games for them. What a year to be chosen to carry the final banner.
Now the Canadians coming on, tremendous here, the crowd. It didn't seem the crowd was full until about 10 minutes before the ceremony. Everybody got under the grandstand in the rain, and all of a sudden, all the seats filled up, and we've got a capacity crowd. And the last team is now on the running track. The standard bearers are all there, just moving around, and the standard bearers now stretched out. We're probably 150 metres from the top of the running track. We're down to the S's there. There's just a few more to come. It's only a parade which lasts about 10 minutes or so, but they're getting a tremendous welcome. And isn't it, could you believe, Phil, out of 217 races, 17 events in these games, 217 of them, that Australia could win 87 or 40%. 40% of all the events held. And if someone said before the games, Australia's going to get more medals, gold medals, than England, Canada and New Zealand combined, they'd say straight to the rat house. And they did it.
Norman, in 4 years' time, they've set themselves a standard which they must live up to.
I don't think it can ever be repeated. I think with the improvement in South Africa, the other countries are going to react to this. England, Canada, New Zealand, they'll all come back, and it's going to be very, very difficult in the future to match the Australian effort. And it applies to swimming, where they set records, cycling, 10 events out of 13.
Correct.
Weightlifting, every event, every event. Boxing, they even won a medal in boxing for the first time since a punch was thrown in anger by Tony Madigan in 1962.
And so as our camera looks across the nations of the Commonwealth, they've competed here as friends, they'll go home as friends. And they all have remarked on the magnificent achievement of the Australians without any animosity or envy in their voices.
So we come now to the ceremonial part of the closing ceremony.
Et maintenant, nous aimerions exprimer notre reconnaissance envers les bénévoles qui ont donné vie au slogan « Les Jeux amicales ». And now, let's take a moment to show our appreciation to the people who made the 15th Commonwealth Games slogan, "The Friendly Games Come Alive." Ladies and gentlemen, volunteers of Team 94.
Well, these people deserve a tremendous amount of recognition. They've been just terrific. And here they come. They have done everything, these people, let me tell you, and they look as happy as they should look. They've been security, they've carried the towels, they've performed, they've done just about everything. They've been runners, guards, guest services, film runners, venue chairpersons, you name it, they've done it. Thousands upon thousands of them, and done it cheerfully and with absolutely no regard for their own lives, I'm sure.
No, with smiles on their faces everywhere you go, even if there is a little moment of anger, they still smiled through gritted teeth, no doubt. But they welcomed us to their island home here in Victoria on Vancouver Island in beautiful British Columbia. They invariably, you would find this, what is it, a turquoise army?
The turquoise army, yeah. They're everywhere
and all the
here.
venues, they were everywhere. Especially fitted out in their tracksuits and so forth. For every venue, just about anything you could think of. There was a turquoise tracksuit, turquoise.
Not just from Vancouver either, right across British Columbia. They've come to take part and to help purely as volunteers. Couldn't have been done without them.
15,000.
So we'll take a break from here as the volunteers get the accolades they deserve. Come back with us soon. They thoroughly deserve. They'll go home tonight to their various homes across Vancouver, British Columbia and Victoria. Have a couple of quiet Molsons, I'm sure, put up their feet and
rest.
Have a rest, yes.
The turquoise army encircling the track here. they just keep on coming.
Oh, there are thousands of them.
Thousands of them. They actually invited all volunteers to join in if they so wished in the closing ceremony, and they got about over more than 3,000 who said they'd like to be in it.
Of the 14?
Perhaps it's just as well it was only 3. Not have had any room for anything else.
I'm sure you can appreciate back home the magnitude of the task that faced these people. All of the venues, all of the people, all of the athletes, and everything else that had to be done. And everywhere you went, there was someone in turquoise to give you a hand, and as I say, they did it with a big smile on their face.
And really, when venues have been crowded and so on, they have cleared very quickly compared to some that I've been in before today. Traffic, no problem at all around Victoria. They have a few snarls in the city when the cultural festival has been on, but in general, thanks to these people and the police, who are locals and imported police for the event, have really kept everything running very smoothly, I must say.
Yes, and of course, normally it's a pretty sleepy little harbour city, this one. They're not used to an influx of this amount of people, and coped with it just beautifully.
Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, the president of the Victoria Commonwealth Games Society, le président de la Société des Jeux du Commonwealth de Victoria, Mr. George Heller.
Your Royal Highness, Your Excellencies, Your Honors, Mr. Premier, distinguished guests, athletes, mesdames et messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, I would ask that you watch the big video that we put up here. We want to show you a little home movie we took of the volunteer family. The past 10 days have flown by in what seems to be mere hours. Blessed by good weather, the Commonwealth family gathered together in a magnificent celebration of sport and culture that brought us all closer together, more dedicated than ever to our links of tradition and shared heritage. This undertaking by Victoria required a colossal effort that encompassed and challenged everyone that formed Team 94. The common link, the sinew and muscle that propelled Team 94 from the original bid committee led by David Black to this final day here today of this incredible outpouring of talent, energy, dedication, and raw determination to excel, displayed by more than 14,000 volunteers. Volunteers from every walk of life, all ages, from youngsters to octogenarians, lent their skill and their heart to ensuring that the athletes, officials, performers, and indeed all our guests and friends had a unique experience in an environment of friendship and genuine desire to share the gentle qualities that bind together the richness and the diversity of the Commonwealth. No tasks were too big or too small for our volunteers. From our Board of Directors and Board of Governors, headed by John Walton and Mel Cooper, to the amazingly talented children in the opening and closing ceremonies, and all functions in between. Challenges were considered as opportunities, and opportunities were considered as a canvas to portray to our guests the warmth of our welcome and our resolve as Victorians, British Columbians, and Canadians to be memorable hosts. The partnership of the Government of Canada, the Government of British Columbia, the corporate family of sponsors, suppliers, and supporters, and the Victoria Commonwealth Games Society formed a strong alliance, a framework, if you will. The volunteers in their thousands provided the heart and soul of these, the 15th Commonwealth Games, and the country, and indeed the Commonwealth, applauds them. I speak for all of the staff and managers and the partners when I say that without the volunteers, there would be no games, and that you, the volunteers, are the best expression of what it means to be a Canadian. Je suis fier de notre patrimoine. D'un océan à l'autre, nous avons beaucoup à célébrer. Et pendant les derniers 10 jours, c'est ici que nous l'avons fait. Célébrer notre pays, notre culture, notre jeunesse, et notre fierté. It has been an honor to be a part of Team 94, part of the Commonwealth Games, and a part of Victoria. We have all made friendships here. Let us cherish them and these memories. Thank you to all the volunteers.
Here, George Heller.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, the return of the flags, la remise des drapeaux. Please welcome the chairman of the Commonwealth Games Association of Canada, le directeur de l'Association canadienne des Jeux du Commonwealth, Mr. Barry Nye.
Your Excellency, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to, as chairman of the Commonwealth Games Association of Canada, I hand back to you the flag of your country, both in a token of our friendship and goodwill towards you, and as a memento of the 15th Commonwealth Games of Victoria, 1994. Bonne chance.
Picked up from each bearer. 64 of them, representing all the countries who took part in the 15th Commonwealth Games here in Victoria, British Columbia. They move off now, led by Canada, away to our right-hand side. The list of flag bearers, the standard bearers and the flags stretching for 150 metres, right down to the start of the 100-metre running track. The Australian team, of course, is there. The placard bearers, first of all, breaking off. And the standard bearers handing over the standard down at the far end. Traditional way of saying farewell, and a simple way of doing it. It's been a nice ceremony so far, Phil, hasn't it? There's been nothing too grandiose, just say it simply, the closing ceremony. You can't say it in a closing ceremony, it's all been said before this.
Yes, and I think that's absolutely right, Norman. That's the way it should be at the Commonwealth Games, the joining of the nations. They come here to play games. After all, let's not lose sight of the fact that that's what we are doing, is playing games and bringing people closer together.
And we look down the countries, and there's Malaysia. Who'll be the host of the next games in 1998. We imagine by then that all of these countries will be there. The Commonwealth, which began in 1931, has risen to 51 countries now. There's the Australian standard bearer, Gary Neiwand, a very happy young man. One of the great cyclists of the world today. A gold medal in 3 straight games, matched only by Pam Coolborn in the 60s, early 70s, and Michael Wenner.
And at this stage, at the Commonwealth Games closing ceremony, we'll take a short break. Come back soon.
Centennial Stadium.
Come back to a performance from Grenada, their national folk group. As Norman said, it's a very simple closing ceremony.
Please welcome Ashe Caribbean Performing Arts Ensemble.
All of these marvelous cultures.
Jamaica. You could be in Montego Bay, couldn't you?
Yeah.
They're high school students, those performers.
And a little reggae too. Well,
Now you'll all remember this one.
could not have it.
Mr. Marley.
Oh, the athletes are getting right into this one, eh?
There's a one. Bob Marley would be proud.
He would indeed.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the chairman of the Commonwealth Games Federation, Mr. Arnaldo de Osales, for the lowering of the Commonwealth Games flag. Et maintenant, la descente du drapeau des Jeux du Commonwealth, mesdames et messieurs, le directeur de la Fédération des Jeux du Commonwealth, Monsieur Arnaldo de Osales.
Your Royal Highness, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I request that the Federation flag be now struck. Je voudrais que vous abaissiez maintenant le drapeau de la Fédération des Jeux du Commonwealth.
And now, at the far end of the arena, the flag comes down from the flagpole. The honour guard of cadets are there, and we look now to the past, the present, and perhaps the future of the Commonwealth Games. It all began in Hamilton, Ontario in Canada in 1930. It's been held 4 times in Canada, in 1954, in nearby Vancouver, the scene of the Great Mile of the Century in 1978 in Edmonton, in central Canada, now in 1994 in Victoria, BC. It's also been held 4 times in Great Britain, in 1934 in London, 1938 in Cardiff in Wales, 1970 in Edinburgh, and again in Edinburgh in 1986. 3 times in New Zealand, Auckland in 1950, Christchurch 1954, and Auckland for the 2nd time in 1990. In Australia 3 times, in Sydney 1938, Perth 1962, and of wonderful games in Brisbane in 1982. Only once in history has the games gone away from either Great Britain, Canada, Australia or New Zealand. And that was to Kingston, Jamaica, the island in the sun. And wasn't it appropriate that the performers from Jamaica were there just as the flag was about to come down? And now the cadets will march the flag around to the royal dais in the centre of the running track, or the middle of the running track, and the flag will be handed over to Mr. Bob Cross, the Mayor of Victoria, to retain it in his possession and until it's required again in 4 years' time to go to Malaysia. These games, which started off so modestly with only a handful of countries and only a handful of events, despite problems due to the years, a gap of 12 years caused by the Second World War, they reached their nadir perhaps in Kingston in 1966, when it was thought then the games would never survive, but survive they did. The word empire has been dropped. The word British has been dropped. They are now from originally the British Empire and Commonwealth Games in 1930 to just the Empire Games, or as they went on, and now the Commonwealth Games only in 1994. And so the cadets at the top of the running straight, only about 50 or 60 metres to go. These games have been very, very successful. There's no doubt about that. Australia, most successful games ever. And if somebody said tomorrow, will you enter for 1998? The Australians would enter by replied post. They'll be there. And of course, the Commonwealth now up to 51 countries. Namibia, the most recent to join, and South Africa back, rejoining the Commonwealth to make it the biggest and best ever. Those 51 countries, for the purposes of the Commonwealth Games, break down into 67 teams. Perhaps there'll be more, perhaps there'll be less. But the Games in the immediate future are certain to continue in Malaysia for the first time in Asia in 1998. And with South Africa in the Games again, in the Commonwealth again, it's quite possible that South Africa will be a venue in the future. And now, with their military precision, the cadets refold the flag, making absolutely certain that no part of the flag touches the ground. They've been trained and drilled to do this, do it in perfect unison. And then finally the flag will be handed over to the Mayor of Victoria, Mr. Bob Cross. From 1930 to 1994, a period of 64 years. In that period now, 15 games have been conducted, and the 16th games scheduled for 1998. Will be handed over to the chairman, who in turn will, that's an Aldo de ourselves, the chairman who's waiting there for it, and he'll in turn will hand it over to the Mayor of Victoria. And that ends the main ceremonial part of the closing ceremony of the 15th Commonwealth Games.
To receive the flag on behalf of Victoria, please welcome His Worship, Mayor Bob Cross. Le maire de Victoria, M. Bob Cross, reçoit le drapeau.
Your Worship, as Chairman of the Commonwealth Games Federation, I entrust this ceremonial flag to your good care. I ask that you or your successor in office will take it to Kuala Lumpur in 1998 for the 16th Commonwealth Games.
Your Excellency, as Mayor of these 15th Commonwealth Games host city, I willingly undertake to take care of this duty until we meet again in 1998.
From far north Queensland, Australia, the people of the rainforests, des peuples aborigènes des forêts pluviales du nord de l'Australie, Jabukai Dance Theatre.
Yes, here they are from the rainforests of North Queensland, Jabukai. Jabukai Dance Theatre, located at Corunda, about a half an hour from Cairns in North Queensland. Translated, the word means village in the rainforest. Cathy Freeman is sitting up there in the stands, very proudly watching her people, her ancestors, performing here at the Centennial Stadium.
And that's probably a first for many Canadians too, seeing a fire lit in the traditional way, rubbing the sticks together. I was willing him to succeed, Tim, and he did.
The sacred dance Warama. And there is Cathy Freeman.
Now, the haunting sound of the didgeridoo.
Good job.
All the way from Bulawayo, the cultural capital of Zimbabwe, we proudly present Black Umfolosi singing Peshea.
Sohamba phesheya kwezilwandle mama angazi wena uzalelani. Sohamba phesheya kwezilwandle mama angazi wena uzalelani. Sohamba phesheya kwezilwandle angazi wena uzalelani. Sohamba phesheya kwezilwandle angazi wena uzalelani. Sohamba phesheya kwezilwandle.
We'll take a break from Centennial Stadium and come back with more of the closing ceremony very soon. The continuing celebration of the cultural diversity of the Commonwealth, the Oksapmin warriors from Papua New Guinea. As with so many indigenous people, a celebration of the spirit world in song and dance.
This is an initiation song from the highlands of Papua New Guinea. That is definitely the face of a warrior.
Welcome from New Zealand, de la Nouvelle-Zélande, Te Wakafuya.
The Maoris from New Zealand. Very famous indeed. I remember them well from the Seoul Olympic Games. They performed there too at the opening ceremony. Winners of the Aotearoa Festival 3 times. They're just great. get the tongue poked out of us sooner or later. The Kiwis have been doing that to us for years.
I think this is the real thing, Tim. We've seen a few of the huckers at the swimming.
This is your proper haka.
But this is the real one.
All right. We love them. We love those Kiwis.
I still don't think they'd scare the wallabies.
Hmm?
I still don't think they'd scare the wallabies.
Wallabies wouldn't be phased at all.
Mesdames et messieurs,
great to see them.
nous vivons dans un monde bouleversé par de profondes transformations. Ce renouveau fera régner sur Terre une plus grande paix et harmonie. Voici un message de bonne volonté, de fraternité et de compassion entre tous et toutes. Ladies and gentlemen, the world is undergoing great changes and renewal towards peace and harmony. Here, in a message of goodwill, friendship, and understanding, is composer Chris Ellum with Connie Scott, the Suspenders, and the Commonwealth Games Choir.
This is called Smile Africa.
Scott and the Suspenders. Original name for a band?
Yes, they're holding up pretty well.
Doing sign language as well for the crowd. Interesting addition to the ceremony.
The guy that wrote that song is from Ghana, West Africa, and he wrote it to provide a bridge between his home country and his adopted country. Smile Africa.
In 1998, the 16th Commonwealth Games will be held in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Les Jeux du Commonwealth de 1998 auront lieu à Kuala Lumpur, en Malaisie. Dans un geste symbolique et traditionnel, nous présentons la cape de l'amitié au pays hôte des prochains Jeux, en souvenir des Jeux de Victoria. In a symbolic traditional journey, we bring the Commonwealth Cape of Many Hands to the future host nation, where it will reside as a permanent legacy of the Victoria Games.
Now, a symbolic journey from Victoria, British Columbia in 1994 to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia for the Commonwealth Games of 1998. Transference of the spirit of friendship and sporting excellence from one host to another. Represents the Pacific Rim, and symbolic the mountains of Vancouver and Vancouver Island.
Meters across. It's a lot of fabric.
And as the Pacific Rim forms and the Salish canoe enters the stadium, we'll take a break and come back with the closing ceremony from here. Sportsmanship of the 15th Games forward to the 16th in 98.
What they have done is come through that symbolic Pacific Ocean between the Pacific Rim nations to deliver the Commonwealth Cape of Many Hands to Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, de la Malaisie, the Malaysia National Dance Troupe.
I've just been told by Peter Donegan while we're watching this that Australia's protest over their disqualification in the women's 4x400 metres has been dismissed. England retains the gold medal. And that took an eternity to decide.
It did indeed, and in fact Cathy Freeman is sitting up in the stand watching this ceremony, so she probably
is not aware of it
probably
just yet.
Doesn't even know.
The wonderful, wonderful colours of Malaysia we all have to look forward to in 1998.
These are from the Malaysian National Cultural Troupe. Also performing are some Malaysian students studying in British Columbia right here.
And the Petal Kids are back. You remember them from the opening ceremony? They're in the back there, forming their floral formations, of course symbolic of this garden city of Victoria, British Columbia. probably not be in Malaysia, looking on from the stands and thinking to himself, well, this may be my last Commonwealth Games, and I'm sure he's got many thoughts racing through his mind, and there'd be many other athletes from many other countries perhaps thinking the same thing. Maybe they'll go as spectators, maybe they'll go as broadcasters, but could be their last time as an athlete.
But what wonderful memories they take with them.
Absolutely. Neiwand in particular.
As they say, you stand up there on the podium, you have the gold medal, you have the memories, no one can ever take that away from you.
No. And there's the Aussie team looking on, all looking pretty happy with themselves. Big smile on Jane Flemming's face, good to see that.
There's Tani Ruckle in the audience too, she was there, so I'm glad to see she's feeling a lot better after her marathon yesterday. True cultural contrast.
It certainly is.
To the three First Nation cultures we've seen here in Victoria.
Spectacular.
Ladies and gentlemen, the chairman of the Commonwealth Games Federation, Mr. Arnaldo de Osales. Mesdames et messieurs, le directeur de la Fédération des Jeux du Commonwealth, Monsieur Arnaldo de Osales.
And he will invite His Royal Highness the Prince Edward to officially close the Games of '94. As the pedal kids leave the stadium to a thunderous applause, they've been great. And the Malaysians too. Although you can't see him, Klewick's getting a big hand as well. He's been busy. Mascot of these games.
Your Royal Highness, may I now invite you to declare the 15th Commonwealth Games formally closed.
A roar of disapproval from the crowd.
We all want to stay.
In the name of the Commonwealth Games Federation, I proclaim the 15th Commonwealth Games, Victoria, Canada, 1994, closed. And in accordance with tradition, I call upon the sportsmen and sportswomen of the Commonwealth to assemble in 4 years' time in Malaysia, there to celebrate the 16th Commonwealth Games. May they display cheerfulness and concord, so that the spirit of our family of nations may be carried on with ever greater eagerness, courage, and honor for the good of humanity and the peace of the world.
And so the games are officially closed.
Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, a healing journey featuring Anne Mortefi.
And we'll be back with more from Centennial Stadium shortly. We are at the closing ceremony of the Commonwealth Games here at Centennial Stadium, and we're on a healing journey, or at least that is the title of the song, being sung by Anne Mortefi, one of the local performers.
singing from the family tree of the Commonwealth. The 64 flags of the Commonwealth surrounding her.
The bird theme in this ceremony is meant to represent the people of the world taking flight spiritually and figuratively. Now, this is 21-year-old Brad Magnus, who has overcome Down syndrome, and he has become quite an accomplished and respected dancer here in Canada.
Beautifully done, Anne Mortefe. Born in South Africa, and has actually received the Order of Canada for her work in the entertainment industry.
Singers of the Cowichan tribe for a traditional farewell. Un au revoir traditionnel des chanteurs de la tribu Cowichan de la nation Coast Salish. Please welcome respected Coast Salish speaker, Mr. Ray Peter.
The First Nations people return.
And don't we well remember them from the opening ceremony?
A traditional Coast Salish farewell song to all of us. The athletes, of course, primarily, and the rest of us who've tagged along to make sure that all of you and the rest of the world has seen the 15th Commonwealth Games. Singers, drummers and dancers face the 4 points of the compass to bid farewell.
Aichka, thank you. We the Coast Salish, we say thank you to everyone, all participants, Her Royal Highness Queen Elizabeth, Prince Edward, the royal family, and all special guests. We are the Coast Salish contingent, and through our actions, the ritual song and performance, we the Coast Salish honor our ancestors and yours, particularly the family of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. For the athlete's safe journey to the four corners of the globe, we have formed a circle of strength, vitality, and respect. For your safe journey, we have done many things. We have called our voices in song from high on mountains. We have asked the great Thunderbird of the Northwest Coast to protect us all. Thank you all for coming. Peace be to you all. Haichka.
And to you, my friend.
Thanks for having us. It's been a real pleasure to be here. And the Thunderbird has kept that weather away.
He has. But I fear only just.
gentlemen, please rise for the departure of His Royal Highness, the Prince Edward. Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez vous lever pour la sortie de Son Altesse Royale, le Prince Edward.
His Royal Highness the Prince Edward departs.
In the very same car that Her Majesty and the Duke of Edinburgh arrived in for the opening ceremony.
The 1939 McLaughlin Buick. One of very few existing in the world today. An absolutely magnificent machine.
Almost have to tie you to the seat, Tim, in case you tear off down there and try and jump in and leave with him.
Now, isn't it a pretty car?
It's a good car.
Pretty motor car. Royal family very fond of those cars, by the way. Back in the 30s, about half a dozen of them were delivered to various members of the royal family. They were so impressed. The McLaughlin Motor Car Company of Oshawa, Ontario, built 154 of those McLaughlins with the Buick engine.
And the Goodyear blimp was presiding over the ceremonies, as it has done for most of the...
And here they come. This is their moment. I think they took their cue from Prince Edward leaving. The athletes are here.
Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, let the spirit live on. Featuring April Gislison, Duncan Neaglejaw, and Maureen Stearns.
The grand finale, involving many, many people.
This is their favourite part, I think, for the athletes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please clear the fields.
He's got no hope of that.
I don't think that will happen. No, I don't think so. Oh, there's an Australian face.
Triple J. Come halfway around the world to advertise Triple J.
Roy and HG will be happy, won't they?
This is just, of course, one big release for the athletes.
Quite appropriate. The song's called Let the Spirit Live On Forever. I think there's going to be plenty of that around for the next 24 hours or more.
There certainly will be. Lots of spirits living on. Neiwand.
I think he's a bit bemused. wonderful picture.
Marvellous. Athletes being joined by all the volunteers. It's right in the middle of Centennial Stadium, and we've seen so many marvellous performances, not the least of them from our own Cathy Freeman.
Well, there's a lot of joviality, but a lot of sadness too, I think.
Little tough to get your song done, I think, amidst all of this, but I'm sure nobody cares at this stage.
And here come the fireworks.
As the athletes just plain let it all out. This afternoon and tonight they can forget all about training, forget all about what they do on the track or in the field or in the pool or wherever, and just have themselves one hell of a good time.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the exit of our dignitaries and special guests and the athletes of the 15th Commonwealth Games. Veuillez vous tenir debout pour la sortie de nos dignitaires, invités spéciaux et athlètes des 15e Jeux du Commonwealth.
Don't think you'll get the athletes to get out of here for a while, but it's a nice suggestion. Indeed, thank you, Victoria. That one from Scotland, but that applies to everybody who's been here. Thank you very much indeed for a marvellous Commonwealth Games.
It has been
There's
one
some
of the
Aussies
most
having a
memorable
ball.
experiences, and one these young athletes for Australia will never ever forget. There's Melinda Gainsford. Our most successful games ever, a very good reason to celebrate.
Yes, goodbye to you too.
Congratulations, Victoria, for staging this most friendly games. This concludes the 15th Commonwealth Games closing ceremony. All volunteers, participants, and public are invited to attend the final games festivities this evening at the Harbour Festival in front of the legislature. The official lineup for tonight is the C.C. Vancouver Orchestra, the Duke of War's Spirit Youth Orchestra, followed by the...
Well, I think Tim Bailey's down there amongst the melee, and he's managed to grab an Australian or two to have a yarn to. Timmy, who have you got?
It is hairs on the back of the neck material down here, isn't it, Ian?
Fantastic, it's really beautiful. There's more people here than there's ever been, and it's electric. Wasn't it great to see Gary take that flag out?
Fantastic. Ian, a great gold medal at the shooting. You must be as proud as punch. Australia in that heart of yours.
Yeah, oh, very much. Our whole country here, all of the competitors, just fantastic.
All right, get out there and enjoy it.
Yeah, we're going to have a great time.
Tell you what, it's shiver me timbers time.
Timmy, it'd be great to be down there.
He's been mixing it with them for the last 11 days, and he's really found some gems among the Australian athletes.
There we got Maoris mixing with Coast Salish, and everybody just having a general ball down there, and Tim Bailey with his microphone is grabbing every Aussie he can find.
And one of the proudest, one of the tears in my eyes last night, Kasumi, when you just did what nobody thought, I think, an Australian would ever do. 5 individual gold medals, fantastic.
Thank you. I was really thrilled with my performance. But still, there's room for improvement.
What about this? Is this something special, something you'll cherish forever, sharing this with the Commonwealth?
Yeah, this is a moment I'll never forget. It's just so wonderful.
She's full of poise, even here with thousands of people. Kasumi, thank you. Australia thanks you.
Thank you.
We do indeed, Kasumi Takahashi. You provided us with some of the most enchanting moments of the Commonwealth Games, and there's a lady with an enormous future. 14 years of age. She can compete in Atlanta. You have to be 16, and you can bet she'll be there, and we hope in Malaysia and beyond.
We'll go back to Tim Bailey again. He's down there on that field.
Someone we can hardly recognise, really. Janie Flemming, great to see that smile. You're a tremendous sport.
Thanks.
What about this? Now I know why you're hooked on these games.
Yeah, I'm glad it's finished, though. This is fun, though.
I am absolutely shaking. It is fun. I'm as proud as punch. Australia's proud of punch of every single one of you guys.
Everyone's done really well, and I understand we've won a heap of gold medals, but, you know, it's not only the gold medals. There's been some fantastic performances. I was just talking to Tani before, and things like that. It's just great to see everyone finish and try their hardest, and this is now party time. We're all relaxing. We're off the team now.
Fantastic. I'll catch up with you later for some of that party.
You're smart.
All right, you got me.
Off the team and off the air by the sound of it.
Jane Flemming, and I can understand why she wants to come back. I mean, when you get the atmosphere of a Commonwealth Games like this, she wants to be back in 4 years again. She's going for that heptathlon gold yet again.
Look, Jane Flemming is obviously a disappointed lady. She should have no cause for us to think anything else other than that she's the marvellous athlete that she is. Personally, of course, she's going to be disappointed for a while. It's just a ball down there, basically. As Jane Flemming said, this is it. Switch off time. The mind gets turned off now. Celebrate with everybody else down by the harbour tonight and say goodbye to this most glorious of cities, Victoria, Canada. And I'm sure all of these athletes will do it in tremendous style. Timmy, you've got the pocket dynamo with you.
I have indeed. I love talking to these blonde bombshells. Kathy, this is what it's all about, as well as the gold medals, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great just to relax after the games and party with everyone down here.
There's some fantastic people around. If you'll excuse me for a second, just come for a wander. Quilty, you ran the marathon this morning, got the silver medal. You must be absolutely exhausted, but you wouldn't miss this for quids.
No way, mate. I was planning to get out here, got out early, got a good seat, and this is great. This is what it's all about, I think.
I put you in a taxi at 4 a.m. this morning to catch that marathon. I reckon I'll put you in one at 4 a.m. tomorrow to get you home to the village.
Don't count me being there at 4 a.m, mate. I might not be there at all.
Fantastic. We're all as proud as punch, mate. This is just something, isn't it?
Oh, it's great. It's great. This is what it's all about, and I'm going to go and enjoy myself.
You bet. All the best.
Yeah, good on you, Stephen. He came home like a steam train in the marathon to take the silver medal.
He was well out of it, with only a few kilometres to go, and there he was, making it the quinella for Australia in the men's marathon, with Monas taking us home for gold this morning. And he looks as fit as a fiddle here this afternoon. Quilty, he's recovered very well.
He
Sean
certainly
Quilty.
has, yeah.
He
Don't know
might
how
feel
fit he's
it.
going to look in about 12 hours from now. It's marvellous, you know. You've got the coast sailors mixing with the Maoris, mixing with the people from Bangladesh and Malaysia, and all the indigenous people of all cultures, including our own.
The African dance troupe with their
The
flag.
African dance troupe, and down there somewhere is the Aboriginals from the far north of Queensland, and it's just a
Jamaicans.
marvellous sight.
Oh, the hero of Canada, Michael Smith. Was he the one? He won the decathlon.
Michael Smith, yeah.
Tim Bailey. Who
got
have you
someone.
got now?
Hey, they're jumping for joy down here, and Alison jumped for gold, making me feel very small, but it's about all shapes, all sizes, the Commonwealth, Alison, isn't it?
It sure is, and it's a fantastic feeling down here, trying to work out who's in what event and who's done what, and it's a great feeling down here.
What does tonight hold after you get over this? Is this one of the biggest buzz you'll have?
Yeah, I don't think there was anybody was having much more fun when we all kind of ran onto the track and everybody was together. It was great. It's a fantastic feeling down here.
Alrighty, we'll see you out and about. Congratulations again for the gold shiny necklace.
Thanks, bye.
Goodbye, Alison.
She's such a charming girl.
That's the long and the short of it.
I'll tell you what, Tim, this is my third Commonwealth Games, and I'll never win any medals, but I'll drink with the Aussies tonight downtown.
You'll get a drink down there, Phil. There's no problem with that.
Yeah. And what about you, Norman? How do you feel now? You see more games than any of us.
Yes, Phil, I've often been asked about broadcasting the games. And people say, what are the easiest games to broadcast? The easiest games are when you're winning, Phil. And if you look at what you did in cycling, what I had to do in swimming, these must have been the easiest games ever to do.
Yeah, it was for us, and of course, in the cycling events, 13 chances of gold, and Australia won 10 of them, and that was just outstanding.
But the whole thing, every sport, all of the things the Australians did, the whole attitude towards competition, all in the spirit of fair play. These were great games. I remember saying, just prior to the opening ceremony, that I hope there would be a great games, and I hope also there would be a very great games for Australia, where we can put a few berries in front of that. That's
Certainly
what we got.
can.
That was really the greatest performance ever by an Australian team at the Commonwealth Games.
Norman, we should spare a thought for our swimmers, of course, in Rome now, or on their way to Rome, and not taking part in this. They're still very, very heavily involved in training, and I have to say to you, I was at the Saanich pool that night when Kieran broke that world record, and it's something I'll remember for a very, very, very long time.
I believe that to be, I firmly believe that to be the greatest session, single session of swimming I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Timmy Bailey, who you got now?
Mr. Dowry, who defended his gold medal perfectly. Hey, how are you feeling, Cobber?
Great, yeah, really good. It's great here to relax. Everyone's finished now. We're going to have a good time tonight, and like everyone's just on a big high.
Isn't it a tremendous feeling? This is my first time mixing with the elite athletes. In an environment like this, they don't let their hair down very often, do they?
Oh, well, not until the end anyway. At the end they do, yeah.
And I'm scared. Enjoy.
I will, thank you.
There might be a few personal bests here this evening.
I think there could be. We'll take a break and come back with more of this fun and frivolity very soon.
Network 10, bringing you the 15th Commonwealth.
That never closed down. From New York to Rome and old London town. But no matter how far or how wide I roam, I still call Australia home.
I'm always traveling. I love being free, and so I keep leaving the sun and the sea. But my heart lies waiting there over the phone. I still call Australia home. All the sons and daughters spinning round the world, away from the family.
faces and sheer fun. Let's go back out to Centennial with Tim and Ann as this closing ceremony winds down. I think the athletes kind of took over, which is perhaps fitting because they were the centre stage all through the games.
Absolutely, Billy. They deserve every moment of it. There's some big happy faces. We were just waving to a group of Aussies down there. Don't know who they were. It's too far away to see them. But they gave us a big wave and blew us kisses. And look at these faces. I mean, this is the athletes enjoying their many, many moments that they deserve.
A little bit of English love and kisses there, I think, English. Tim Bailey, who have you got now?
I've got the biggest bunch of desperates you've ever seen on your television set.
Neiwand.
Gary Neiwand, last night you did Australia proud 3 in a row. They call that hogging things where I come from.
Well, it might be, but we're proud to be hogs when it comes to games like this, and yeah, the whole team did really well.
What sort of a feeling out there when you were carrying the flag into a stadium like this?
Very good. You know, it was really emotional, and you know, one of the best feelings I've ever had. You know, representing every athlete here from Australia, and you know, just being the one to be chosen out of everyone that competed here for Australia was really good.
And nice of you, Whitey, to bring in the dragster that you rode too. Lovely stuff.
Got to go, and we bought it at a garage sale yesterday for $2. we bought a can of spray that cost us more than the bike. we sprayed her up. We thought blue's not the colour, white's the neutral colour. We'll go for it today. And we got her in here and going for a few laps.
Fantastic stuff. That's what the Australian spirit's all about, having a go, and haven't we done it here, Gary?
Certainly have. It's been great.
Just quickly, I'll sneak over here. There's a couple of people I want to say hello to. Hanso, the media team manager, and the youngest member of the swim team and the Australian team, Brooke Hansen. Father and daughter, a couple of legends. Proud as punch, the both of you.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
Not a bad thing to do when you're 16, Brooke.
Oh, it's a great experience. If anyone ever had the chance to do it, it's just the best.
Just a pity your old man had to come along.
To try and spoil the party, but I enjoyed it too. It was great to see Sue in the grandstand and give her a wave, and it was just marvellous to be part of an Australian team that won 87 gold medals. But as far as we're concerned, they're all winners, Bales. They're all winners. And hello, Fish Tank.
Yes, you can.
If my sister's watching in Townsville, she's in hospital at the moment. I just like to say I'm thinking about her and hi.
What's her name?
Vicky Wade.
Hey, Vicky, we're all thinking about you. Get well, and what a get well tonic. Hey.
Oh, Debbie Wade, good for her.
Yeah, good on you, Timmy. Great job. Norman May, thank you.
I'm sitting here in front of a dead microphone, Tim. I'm back on the air again. What a pleasure to work with Phil. Phil Leggett over from England. We're going back to Australia. And, of course, what's the reception going to be at home when we get there? You know, they've got organisation, ticker tape parades in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide, Hobart, Perth, Alice Springs.
They will line the streets, Norman. They'll line the streets. Hundreds of thousands of people. Phil, great Commonwealth Games.
Marvellous. And you guys think you've got problems. I'm going back to England. I've got to explain how I worked for Australia, who won the games.
Yes.
We'll have you back anytime, Phil.
And I'll come, and you bet on it. I love being with you guys.
Well, I can't begin to tell you what this scene's like down here, isn't it? Just fantastic. We've got Indigenous people from all over the world just dancing their hearts out. The athletes wandering around, just savouring every moment, lapping it all up, soaking it in, because it's something they'll take with them forever. Whether you won a gold medal, whether you just came here and competed, it doesn't really matter at all on an afternoon like this. As the sun sets over Victoria in Canada, this truly most beautiful of places.
Just being involved, Tim, gives you that special feeling, I think. Whatever you may be doing, volunteers, dancers, singers, athletes, policemen.
Well, we'll leave you from here, and Annie Forward send you back to Billy Woods in the studio to wrap up the telecast this afternoon, as we just stay here, Billy, and soak up a bit of this too.
An envious position indeed. It's a marvellous thing. Centennial Stadium, look at that. And they will gradually filter their way back into downtown Victoria, where, oh, it's just going to be a big party.